everyone. Sorry for another speed paint this week. We're currently like moving into college right now and about to start it. So yes, I know we're old. So I've been a little bit busy and haven't been able to work on the renovating societies. Don't worry, you'll get those again in 2 weeks. Next week it's going to be another like gaming video or something, whatever we're able to manage. But yeah, sorry about that. It's been a little bit busy, so we're going to be having another easy little speed paint here. I'm doing the profile picture. I'm updating it again after, I think, what is it, 2 years? We're finally getting an update. We're thinking of just rebranding a little bit, so thank you for your patience and thank you for your support. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay tuned for more of our content. As for the question of the week, if you could have an aesthetic, like one symbol to be your aesthetic, what would it be? Like, I have fire, Steven has lightning, or Cthulhu tentacles if you want to count those, and Miranda has like flowers and blood if you want to count those. So just, if you could pick something to kind of represent you, what would it be? Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so hi everyone. You got to see a little sketch I made before. I didn't do any extra like sketch layers for this one. I kind of just went straight into the inking because I'm stubborn and impatient. So right now I'm inking Steven. I kind of just, like I said, jumped into it, but I was trying to make the line art a bit neater than I usually do. So you're going to see me redoing a lot of things, using many different layers and kind of making the lines a lot more thinner and neater than I usually do with the rest of SKRAM thumbnails. Here I am struggling with the hair because Steven has like a middle part with his long hair right now, and I was not sure how to draw it because I've always done a little poof that he has. I don't keep that, but you'll see me struggle with it, so enjoy long hair Steven for now. I'm drawing him in his regular SKRAM suit that I've had in other promotional stuff because that's kind of recognizable for us. We're all wearing this same thing, and here he is doing a little kissy face because he's Steven. For this drawing and this line art, I'm using like a technique where I just make a bunch of layers for everything instead of trying to fit everything together and then erase. I just freely draw everything on another layer and then delete parts of the layer underneath it so that it kind of looks better, in my opinion. It makes it a lot easier than trying to manage like where all the lines go because I'm kind of bad at that. I decided to, well, I forgot to add his glasses, so we're just going to pretend that, you know, he wasn't supposed to wear them all along. Now I'm drawing the Cthulhu tentacles because Daddy Cthulhu, obviously, it's Steven. So here I am just cleaning that up. As I said, I'm using the layer technique, and oh my god, it's me. Hi, look at me. Okay, so for this one, I'm just doing like me with my lightsaber from the intro and from that one fight that I had in, I think it was my birthday video a while back, like 2 years ago, memories. So again, I'm using the thing where I do it on a different layer. I kind of had a hard time with the lightsaber because I wanted it to look cool and like it was made of light, but I didn't know how to do that with this cartoony style, especially because it was going to, I planned for it to be over a white background, so I couldn't just make it glow the way I normally did for like the intro because there just wouldn't be a lot of contrast. So yeah, that was something that I struggled with later in the coloring. Right now I'm just drawing me in the same suit. My hair was interesting. I don't think it came out that well, but we're just gonna deal with it. And if you saw in a sneak peek, the sizes for each of the characters didn't match because I didn't do a second sketch and didn't realize, like, you know, what proportions everyone's gonna be, so I fixed that later, don't worry. Now we're at Miranda. I actually didn't know what to do for her because she has a couple of aesthetics, you know. Right now I'm just having her in the usual SKRAM outfit with a grapefruit spoon, like, you know, a little throwback to that one drive prompt. She's got her bow as usual, and she's kind of just being evil and murdery because it's Miranda. I plan for there to be flowers in the background because that's kind of her thing. Deadly plants and all that. Wow, look at me. I'm actually drawing hands this time. I'm really proud of myself for that. They did not turn out that well, but you know what? I made an attempt. The layering thing came in very handy for that. So now you see I'm adjusting the proportions thing that I kind of got wrong in the beginning. It was difficult. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of as you see, I'm redrawing stuff, and I think I got it eventually, probably right now. And yeah, now I'm drawing the flowers. I kind of regret doing the flowers like that. I think I probably should have just taken one of the patterned brushes that Medibang gives you automatically because It made it kind of difficult like later on when I was coloring because they were all on different layers, and you'll see that in a little bit. Right now I'm just shading Steven's skin. Usually I don't do that for SKRAM anymore just to save time, but since this was like a fancier thing, I wanted to kind of do a little bit of extra shading on everything, on like the flat colors. Can you call them flats if you shade them like that? Yeah, I'm gonna call them flats. So you got me done, and now we have Miranda. I like to do the skin first so that I could just layer like the clothing on top of it with like clipping masks, especially because the skin is usually the one that takes like the most blending and stuff. Here I am, just the screen is frozen as I wait for me to start. There we go. So I'm just coloring the suits right now. The colors I did not pick from the old drawings, so we're just gonna deal with that, you know? So I'm trying to like make it seem shiny. I don't think I succeeded, but I really liked how his glove turned out. I used a lot of blue shading for him because, you know, blue. I did the same for me. I used a bit of pinks, and for Miranda I think it was like some sort of like cool, sorry, not cool, warm gray, yellowish brown sort of thing for the shading. The tentacles were super fun to color. Like I made them shiny, and then I added like a bunch of little dots here and there to kind of, you know, make them look like tentacles. For me, I kind of just did the same thing. I you know, colored in the suits. I tried to make the lightsaber a little shiny, like the actual like handle part. I liked how that turned out later. The suit gave me a hard time because I wasn't sure whether to make the red more cool tone, like more on the pinkish side, or more warm tone on the orange side, because we have both colors kind of taken by people. So I was kind of in a weird spot right there. I liked how I shaded my hair. I kind of did like a little gradient so that like it kind of blended in with the hairline, and I went back and did that with Steven. That's one of my favorite things to do in coloring. Here I was just giving up on the lightsaber, and then now we're back to Miranda. Hers is a lot easier to color, and I really like that this time I kind of tried to use more browns with her instead of just straight up black, and I think it kind of gave like, you know, a nice little color combo there. And here I am just finishing that up, doing her hair. Kind of blend that. I really liked how I made her hair shiny. That was something I didn't do with the rest. Just add a little bit of, you know, dimension. And now we have the spoon, making that shiny and kind of failing because I don't know how to draw metal. I should really do a couple of practices. I really should pause the recording whenever I do this. Oh, and here it is, the flowers, the part that gave me a hard time. I was originally gonna make them rainbow, but then I was like, no, why don't we go with like, sort of like a nice little pinkish, purplish, reddish, like warm, well, not really warm tone because purple isn't a warm tone, but you know, like those nice, like cutesy colors for the flowers so that we could contrast them with the blood later. The background I honestly was just winging because originally I was going to have it so that it just like fades into white, but that was too similar to the old one, so I thought I'd do something flashier. Here I am with the blood, you know, my favorite thing to draw. Do not quote that out of context. And oh my god, Steven's background was the most fun that I had with this entire thing because I made like the water in the background to represent Cthulhu, and it was just a really nice effect. Here I am like kind of like curving it around so that it kind of just looks nicer. I want each of our little sections to kind of blend into each other a little bit. I'm adding the greenery for Miranda right now because of her like plant aesthetic. That was a bit difficult because I didn't know how to balance that with the flowers, as I mentioned now, because they kind of popped out like into the foreground a bit. So it didn't really like match well with the kind of blended green like shrubs in the background. But I think I made it work in the end. I'm adding like a little extra flower, some blue here for Steven's like Minecraft flower aesthetic that he has. And I'm adding the fire for me now because obviously it's me and I love fire. In drawings, I'm scared of fire in real life. Ow. Sorry, I hit myself while recording. So now I'm just like kind of blending that out, drawing it. I had really fun with this. Like I kind of used like a couple of different techniques. I actually like, instead of just completely making it like all like overusing the motion blur, essentially I actually tried to like make the individual like in like a sort of cartoony way, like each individual piece of fire, is that a word? Is that what the proper phrase? I don't know. I'm not that good at English. So now I'm just adding like the shading. I'm doing kind of like I wanted to do a rim light around it, but I thought it would be a little bit too chaotic, so I kind of just did like it's backlit, but there isn't like that like a huge like distinct lighting, like rim lighting around everything, even though that's kind of like my favorite thing to do. I kind of wanted to just make it seem like we were kind of popping out against the background because the background was kind of really bright and chaotic. I kind of regret that a little bit. It looked cool at the end, so I didn't mind. Here I'm adding like a bit more of like the water texture for Steven and the lightning because that's his thing now, apparently. You guys will see more of that later. I had a lot of fun with the lightning. It was a little bit difficult because it kept on blending into the water, but I think that made a good aesthetic now. And oh, here we are with the blood. Again, one of my favorite things to draw. It's pretty simple. You just take like a bunch of red, put them on a multiply layer, and then smudge them. Like, you could just smudge them. And now I'm adding the outline around us because I realized that we were blending into the background too much and I still need to be distinct for a profile picture. So that's pretty much it. I add the background and now we're done. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay tuned for more of our content. And make sure to answer the question of the week down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll have a regular video to you next week. Bye!